Today, we're doing something a little different. We are rolling up our sleeves and stepping into an ancient workshop. Our goal? To follow a very specific, very old set of instructions to build some of history's most legendary objects.
I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. If you were tasked with creating something for a divine being, where would you even start? What materials do you use? What level of craftsmanship is good enough? That's the huge question at the heart of what we're looking at today.
And this is our blueprint. Everything we're going to build, every single measurement and material comes directly from this one chapter. No outside commentary, no modern interpretations. We're just following the original specs, exactly as they were written down thousands of years ago.
So here's our build list for the day. We're tackling 5 incredible pieces. First, the famous Ark of the Covenant. Then the mercy seat that sits on top of it. After that, a table made of pure gold. Then the super detailed golden candlestick. And we'll finish up with the altar for incense and the holy oil. Let's get started.
All right, first up, the big one. The one everybody's heard of, the Ark of the Covenant. At its core, yeah, it's a box. But as we're about to see from these instructions, it is so much more than just a box.
And right away, we meet our guy, the master craftsman himself, Bezalel. The first thing the text tells us is his choice of wood, shittimum wood, which we know today as acacia. This stuff is perfect. It's dense, it's durable, and it grows in the desert. It's built to last and built to travel.
Okay, first dimension, 2.5 cubits long. Now, what in the world is a cubit? Well, it's an ancient measurement, basically the length of a guy's forearm, from his elbow to the tip of his fingers. So we're talking about something around 4 feet long.
Next up, the width is 1.5 cubits, so that's roughly 2.5 feet. You can start to picture it now, right? The basic shape is starting to form.
And the height is also 1.5 cubits. So there we have it, a rectangular chest with these very specific, very deliberate proportions.
Now, here's where it gets really incredible. Bezalel takes that wooden box and covers it completely with pure gold. And I don't just mean the outside. He covers the inside, too, every surface. Then he adds this beautiful decorative trim, a crown of gold, around the top. And for carrying it, 4 rings cast from solid gold are attached to the corners, ready for the carrying poles, which, of course, are also made of wood and covered in gold.
But the Ark itself is only part of the story. You can't just have an open box. It needs a lid. But this isn't just any lid. This is the mercy seat. And it's basically considered the symbolic throne of God on earth.
And that's why it had to be so perfect. This wasn't just for keeping dust out. The mercy seat was considered the literal meeting point, the interface between the divine and the human world. A pretty important piece of hardware.
And get this is what just blows my mind from a craftsmanship perspective. The entire thing, the flat lid and the statues on top of it, weren't separate pieces that were welded together. Nope, the whole thing was hammered, stretched, and shaped out of one single solid block of pure gold. Just imagine the skill that takes.
The design of these cherubim, these angelic figures, is super specific. They're at opposite ends of the lid. Their wings stretch up and over, creating this kind of protective canopy. And their faces are turned inward, looking down at the empty space right between them, as if to say, this spot, right here, this is the holy ground.
All right, let's move on to the next item in the workshop. It's a table, specifically designed to hold something called the shewbread, or the bread of the presence. And you're going to start to notice a pattern here, a sort of design theme.
See what I mean? Same playbook. It starts with a core of that strong shittim wood, and then it's completely covered in pure gold. And just like the Ark, it's got the rings and the gold-covered poles for carrying it. There's a clear visual language being established for all this sacred furniture.
Now the table has its own unique specs, of course. It's a little smaller than the Ark, and it's got this cool border around the edge that's about the width of your hand. And that border also gets its own crown of gold. And the design vision was total. Even the accessories, the plates, the spoons, the pitchers, all of it had to be made from pure gold.
Okay, now we come to what might just be the most artistically challenging piece in the whole collection. The golden candlestick, which you probably know as the menorah.
And yep, you guessed it. That same almost unbelievable feat of craftsmanship is required here. This whole thing, with all its branches and details, isn't pieced together. It's formed out of a single talent of pure beaten gold. The amount of focus and precision to pull that off without a single mistake is just staggering.
The basic shape is pretty classic. You've got the main shaft running up the middle. And then coming off that main stem are 6 branches, 3 curving out one side and 3 on the other, giving it that iconic 7-lamp structure.
But the fine detail here is just breathtaking. Each and every one of those 6 branches was decorated with this delicate, repeating natural pattern. Bowls shaped like almond blossoms, a little bud, and then a flower. It's this beautiful, organic design that flows across the whole piece. And of course, the 7 lamps on top, and even the tools you'd use with it, the tongs and the little snuff dishes, also had to be pure gold.
Okay, for our last stop in the workshop, we're moving from sight to smell. We're looking at the objects that would fill the holy space with sacred scents, the altar of incense and the special anointing oil.
And this altar follows that same design philosophy we've seen, a core of shittim wood completely wrapped in pure gold. It's small, perfectly square, just 1 cubit by 1 cubit, but it's tall, 2 cubits high. The most distinct feature, though, are the horns at the 4 corners, which were sculpted to be part of the top, symbolizing power and protection.
And that brings our build to a close. The final pieces aren't forged or hammered, but mixed. A holy anointing oil and a special incense made from sweet spices. And the text makes a point to say these were created with the skill of an apothecary or a perfumer, a totally different kind of artistry, but one just as vital to the whole experience.
So, after all that, you're left with this big question. What's the real marvel here? Is it the divine blueprint itself, these incredibly detailed instructions passed down through the ages? Or is it the breathtaking, almost unbelievable human skill and devotion that it took to turn those words into a golden reality? Something to think about.